Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make a bunch of custom trees so you can end up with a forest similar to this. I'm going to be doing both a big tree, a small tree, and a couple of like sprucey trees like over here. So first things first is you'll want to think of your block palette. What I tend to go for is a mix of oak, spruce, and dark oak leaves. The colours work. They work. We're going to start with making a tree kind of like this. This one's just an example of a trunk, you might see. So we're going to use this for leaves later. And let's get started. So first, you obviously pick up your block palette. Then you pick a location. We're going to go with right here. Since this area is looking a little bare. So we're going to start with a medium-sized tree. So I go with the height first, for the main trunk. And I just kind of lay it out with the logs. And then I go around and I place bits with the other bits. Not very exciting, I admit. Okay, so that's the base of the trunk. And now we're going to build some of the branches. So I like to start off with the lower branches first. That don't tend to be as long. You just got to remember that branches will come at all sorts of different levels. So that's some nice low branches. Now we're gonna kind of build up and do some, like the next view. So if we look at this, like I zoomed in a few minutes ago, you've got the low branches, you've got a medium branch, and then you've got the rest of the trunk. It's not the best example, but it, you know, should make a little bit more sense once you see it all come together. Yeah. Now, one of the extra things I like to do is I like to get black concrete. And I like to put it in these little gaps here. And make little bird holes. Little birdie dens, you know? Right, the next couple of branches. So, build up a little bit more again. It's a bit long, actually. And look at that. We've got a nice medium-sized trunk. And now we're going to start working on the leaves. So you've got to remember, the way leaves work, it's really weird, frankly. Since we're just doing a standard kind of big tree like this, we're going to start with just covering the tops of each branch with some leaves. Because we're going to have to cover the tops of the branches, regardless. Right. And then we're going to start going around them. One of the really cool things you can do is if you've got a lot of space down the back of it, you can kind of like build downwards a little bit like this. Like that. Just to add some extra texture. Now sometimes as you're doing this, you'll want to add some extra branches in like this, which you can totally do. I do it quite often actually. Because as you're building the leaves, you'll kind of think, oh, this bit should have a branch, this bit should have this. Then we have it. We have a tree. So that's a medium-sized tree. Then for the little trees, hold on, this bit looks a little bit. There we go. That looks much better. For slightly smaller trees, it might just be as simple as doing this. And just boop, boop, boop. Like that. Look at that. So now we've got a couple of trees. So yeah, we've got these two little trees. And now we're going to do a tinier tree, like a tiny, tiny tree. These ones are pretty easy actually. You can see one right here. You quite literally just go like, let's do one. Done. Tiny tree. Itty bitty. Little. Perfect. So that's 3 levels of tree. This is a large tree. And to build off the large trees, we're going to go back to that trunk we saw earlier. As this is currently a medium tree trunk, but we're going to turn it into a large tree. This is the smallest size of large trees. I'm not going to get into a tree like the one in the distance, or a tree like the one around this tower, because those are probably deserving of their own video, honestly, because it took me a good few hours to make those. So now we're going to get onto the branches. Again, we just go over the top of each branch first. almost forgot to add the top branches. You know what this tree needs? This tree needs something coming this way. Yeah. Just like that. Lovely. Now, we've got a lot of branches for this tree. So we're going to work from the top down on this one. And by doing that, we're going to kind of connect the branches we'll see up here. Form a larger set of leaves. Just like this. Now we look from underneath, we're going to see where should we put a branch. For example, right here. Right there should be a branch, see? I'm going to kind of buff it up a little bit. Add some more on the underside. Like that. Perfect. Now we do the same on the next layer. Again, don't forget to add in branches where it looks like there should be some. And there we go. Got a medium tree. So that's just a couple of regular oak trees. Now we're going to do a spruce tree. So these ones are a lot more tall and straight and kind of intentionally branchy. So first we're going to do a small one like this, then we'll do a medium one, and then we'll do one of the bigger ones. So, small one first. We're going to start with a log. Now, if you come look over here, one of the things I've done is I've used nether brick wool. It blends in quite well. So you could do it like that, which is what I've done there. Or you could do it more square, like that. Boom, there you go, you got a tinier tree. Woo! Now we're going to do one of the more medium straight trees. We're going to put it here. Let's put a large one there, actually. Let's do a medium one here. These ones are quite easy to do because they are just kind of straight up. I'm going to start with boom, medium tree. Now we'll do the big one. Big one. Perfect. Then we've got our vague branch layout. We're going to start with base layer. Remember, these trees are quite thick around the bottom, and they get thinner as they go up. Like a Christmas tree. There you go. A larger tree. So this is a nice little example of trees. The main thing to remember is that trees can be quite fluid. They've grown up in wind, in weather, etc. So they always have typically a little curve to them. They always have lots of branches, especially in a forest. Now, if you're building more manicured trees, obviously they might be straighter. They'll have less branches around the bottom. Something similar to this, where it's got missing branches and then more around the top. Or you might have a willow with lots of pieces coming down. The main important thing to remember is it's meant to mimic a real thing. So obviously go outside, look at some trees, and take some photos before you build. This was just a small example. There's lots of other trees you could make. Blossom trees, for example, cherry trees, birch trees, beech trees as well. So just have some fun with it, look at some real life examples, and merge it all together. And if it doesn't look right, just start again. It's just a tree after all. Right. Thank you very much for watching. That was my very short, easy tutorial on how to make some trees. Let me know what other kind of trees you want to see, or what you want to see me try and attempt, or if there's anything else you've seen, you know, kind of behind me that you want a vague tutorial on. Bye-bye.